Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. It's Monday. That means it's time for a movie Monday. Today we're talking about Green Lantern First Flight. That's right, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers Movie Monday, the movie show where we talk about movies. Today we're going to be talking about this 2009 or 10.
When is it? We should have done that research.
Ah, fuck it. Who cares, right? Who really cares? 2000.
It doesn't say on the back of these
Fucking
boxes.
Warner Brothers, man. What is this bullshit? Fuck it. Who cares? That's right, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers Movie Monday, the show where we talk about movies. We're going through the DC animated movies right now, and today we're going to be talking about Green Lantern First Flight, basically the origin of Hal Jordan Green Lantern. I really like this movie. Let's talk about it. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. This is
Jelani, Bullard.
This is
Brooks.
I really liked this movie when it first came out. When Geoff Johns was doing Green Lantern, kind of redefining the character for a new generation, it really, really worked. And I was at the height of my Green Lantern fandom. Seriously, Green Lantern has never been more hyped than it was during Geoff Johns' comic book run. And this movie was basically Geoff Johns' ideas about who Green Lantern is and how he started, all in one little tiny package, and I thought it did it splendidly. I loved this movie back then, and I love it now. It's got Christopher Maloney. He's the Law & Order SVU, right?
Yep.
Right? As Hal Jordan. Fantastic. I thought it was a great performance. You know, we were always... I kept thinking this was Nathan Fillion, but it's Emerald Knights.
Yeah, that's Emerald Knights.
Not this one. But Maloney does a great job. Victor Garber, though, as Sinestro, fantastic. I love his voice work in this movie. I really do like it. It's a great, real quick encapsulation of everything about who Hal Jordan is, what is the origin of the Green Lantern Corps, and who Sinestro is, and how his fall from grace happens. I thought it's paced really, really well. A lot happens very, very quickly. They don't get as in-depth as some of the Geoff Johns Secret Origin does or anything like that. But this is an amazing movie. I really like it. If you don't know anything about Green Lantern and you don't want to read a comic book, watch this movie. You'll know everything he does. Yeah, because this movie is so much better than the live-action movie with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Right? Though, I will say, the absolute best thing about Green Lantern is one of the best things of the live-action film. One of the best things about that live-action Green Lantern film is one of the best things about comic book movies ever, and that's Mark Strong as Sinestro. But Victor Garber does a great job in here. I love the relationship between Sinestro and Hal. They don't really get to go into the idea that they build a friendship at first. It's just that Hal realizes this is a fishy dude. So I like that. It's a little bit truncated. It's a little fast, right? Aside from that, I really think this movie's pretty good. I think it's solid. I think it's got great action, great sci-fi, cool animation, all that and more. Jelani, what do you think about Green Lantern First Flight?
I agree. It's a snapshot of who Green Lantern is. It's everything you need to know about Hal Jordan. And it's a great film for him to basically spread his wings and fly. And it shows you how he became the hero that he is.
Your wings
It's beautiful. Yeah, just it's a great film.
Every movie Monday, there's a moment where I go, why did we do that?
Yeah, we always do that.
That was it.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, man.
It's not bad.
not
It's
sorry.
not a bad film.
Brooks isn't sorry.
It's not
Let's go to
bad.
Brooks real quick. Brooks, what do you think about Green Lantern First Flight?
I thought it was okay.
Did you have a lot of experience with Green Lantern before you watched this?
Not really, but he was one of, I'm more of a Marvel guy, you know. But he is one of the DC characters that really interests me. You know, his power set, you know, being a space cop and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He's pretty interesting. And this movie, you know, it's a really good introduction to somebody, who knows absolutely nothing about Green Lantern.
Yeah.
You just want to know, what is Green Lantern's deal? This movie will tell you pretty much.
If all you know about Green Lantern is that he can make green bubbles and green fists and green battering rams with his ring, yeah, watch this movie. It explains it a whole lot more. The rings are powered by willpower, things like that. And then, of course, in the comic book, they get... So there's green, and then there's the yellow ring. And I love the build-up to Sinestro getting the yellow ring in this. It's one thing that this movie does so well that I think the Green Lantern live-action movie could have done a little bit better. Get rid of Parallax. Just make it Sinestro. Just make Sinestro the villain. Let him get the yellow ring at the end of Act 2, and it would be perfect. You'd be fine. You don't need Hector, Hammond. You don't need Hammond.
Oh,
you don't
Hammond.
need Parallax. You just need Sinestro and the essence of the yellow energy, right? So I like how it kind of does that and explains everything about the lore behind Green Lantern. Does it an exceptionally well job at that. I like the characters. There's nice little throwbacks and Easter eggs to other Green Lantern characters. You got the Chipmunk. Is it Chip, right? It's Chip.
Yeah.
You got Chip in there. You got the big head dude.
Yeah.
You got Kilowog. Kilowog by Michael Madsen, by the way.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Blonde as Kilowog, and I love it.
My favorite in this.
Yeah, he doesn't even know he doesn't even know his poozer between, it's like, I just love it. It's so fun, so great. Boudica being a bad guy, that's kind of a little but at the same time, all you want to do is like Boudica, right? I mean, like, it's a silly name. I love Victor Garber as Sinestro in this movie. I think it's fantastic. What do you think about the movie? What do you think about the cast? Like, who stands out? Like Maloney, right? He's a great, Hal Jordan.
He is a great Hal Jordan. And I liked everybody in this movie. Like, you get Ganthet, and he's... I like Ganthet.
Ganthet's got a weird, let the Green Lantern speak.
Yeah.
It's like Larry David meets Paul Reiser with a little bit of a... I don't know what it is.
Right, but it tells a good story. The cast works well with this story. I can't really say much about it. I mean, it's a watchable movie.
What about Garber Sinestro?
Garber Sinestro is
And this
clean.
is Professor Stein.
He's like...
If you're not aware, from the Arrowverse and all that.
Yeah, he's from DC Legend of Tomorrow right now. Yeah. One half of Firestorm.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, he plays Sinestro very well. He's calculating, and he is the mustache twirling villain that I want to see.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We shall find the shallow ring.
Yeah. So he's like he's dirty and skeevy at the beginning. And he knows he has an agenda. And you're right. He should have had... I think there should have been a little bit more time paid to him and Hal being friends.
Yeah, if you would have built up, first of all, their friendship. And this is something that they were able to do, especially Jeff Johns, with retconning and things, is the friendship between Sinestro and Hal. That's important. And also the idea that... In this film, you get the idea that just Sinestro doesn't like the Guardians. He doesn't agree with them. He doesn't like the Green Lantern Corps.
But immediately,
in the comic books, you understand that, Sinestro is dedicated to the ideals of the Green Lantern Corps. He just doesn't. He thinks the best way to do it is through these other, through fear and through the yellow energy. And he finds another way. And he doesn't like the fact that he's lied to. But the fact that Sinestro has always wanted to be a Green Lantern. Yeah. And that's why the ring even chooses him again later on, like the New 52 at the end of all that stuff, right? So I think that they missed the mark with that. But they only have these movies are less than an hour and 15 minutes long, right? And this movie, we were talking about how some of these movies seem like they're forced to be PG-13. This one had a little bit less of that forciveness, but it still had some moments. That moment when Boudica dies, and her face just appears out of the cloud, and then she's just impaled by that thing. That was pretty dope. I remember that kind of shocking me. What do you think about this movie? What do you think about the voice cast? Do you like Maloney as Hal? What do you think about Garber as Sinestro?
Yeah, I thought everybody did good, and it's very opposite of the previous one where this movie's more about Sinestro, I think, than Hal. Hal's kind of, he's kind of they kind of move his story along quicker. It's like, oh, here he is, he finds the ring. Years later, he goes to space. Here comes Sinestro. A little bit of Hal, I think Sinestro got more time, but I think it worked in this case because Sinestro is much more interesting than Hal.
And with the time allotted in this movie, it's an hour and 17 minutes long. You don't have so much time to spend on Earth, so they really kind of get Hal off of Earth very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
But a lot of the Hal origin stories do deal with him on Earth a lot. We just had Justice League New Frontier, which tells us the whole story about Hal on Earth after he gets the ring. So that's kind of cool, and obviously it's a different story set in a different world or time zone or whatever you want to think. But I really like this movie. I think it's a great introduction to Green Lantern. If you're out there right now and you don't know much about Green Lantern, because to be honest with you, Green Lantern hype peaked at Jeff Johns. Sinestro Corps War, Blackest Night. I'm super surprised they've never done either of those. Yeah. This could have easily led into Sinestro Corps War, which could have led into Blackest Night. And you would have had a trilogy. You could have kept Maloney, could have kept Garber. It would have been amazing. They haven't done that yet. I still think that both Sinestro Corps War and Blackest Night are prime ripe for DC animated films, and I really, really want them to do them. Even though
Blackest Night is just it'll happen eventually.
Eventually. And even though it just ends in a Care Bear stare, it didn't stop us from loving the Care Bears movie. Anyway, we're going to get to the rankings real quick. We got 5 possible you digs here. That's what we do at PCP. So out of 5 possible you digs, Jelani, what do you rank Green Lantern First Flight?
I'd give it a 3.
A 3.
It's serviceable.
Decent. Serviceable.
Decent. Yeah, it's not a bad movie. Sinestro's a great villain in this film, which does overshadow Hal Jordan. It tells a decent story altogether of how he becomes a Lantern, and yeah, I'd give it a 3. I'd watch it again.
Okay. 3. That's decent. That's decent.
Yeah,
it's decent. It's like being like, you get a C.
Yeah,
you pass.
You pass.
You pass with no danger. What about you, Brooks? What do you rank this out of 5 possible you digs?
I give it a 3.
3.
Yeah.
3. Decent.
Yeah.
Okay, it passed.
I like.
Why a 3? You ranked Wonder Woman way higher.
Yeah, I liked Wonder Woman better.
You didn't like this as much.
I did like it, but I didn't like it as much. I mean, it's still good. It's still Green Lantern, but I think I just enjoyed Wonder Woman a little better.
Okay.
It does have one thing that really... I did like the weight of the story because a lot of Green Lanterns die in this movie.
Yeah, they do.
And the rings just fall down, and you're like, oh,
it's
my
a great
God.
scene, right?
Because you realize, like, there's Green Lanterns out in space, floating around in space, and all of a sudden the rings
when
stop
all the
working.
rings come back, dude.
Yeah.
Those are the craziest moments in the comic book, too.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Green Lantern fan, especially at the time this was released. Jeff Johns was doing Green Lantern. I was just goo-goo for Gaga. I always liked Green Lantern growing up. From Super Friends and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But the moment I got into Green Lantern comic books, Hal Jordan went crazy and killed everybody. Okay? So, like, my Green Lantern, really, when I was first reading the title, was mostly Kyle Rayner. I love the idea about what the ring can do. But when Jeff Johns came in and brought back Hal Jordan, I started really understanding why Hal Jordan was so respected. I actually understood it a little bit more around the Green Lantern 100 mark from Volume 3. Kyle Rayner met Sinestro and Hal Jordan. Ron Mars did that story with Daryl Banks. That was called Emerald Knights. That was good stuff. That got me pumped for the Jeff Johns stuff. This is based on the Jeff Johns stuff. I think Hal Jordan is probably the greatest Green Lantern ever. Right behind Sinestro. And I love the spotlight on Sinestro here. So I'm going to give this 4 you digs. So you guys go 3. And that's respectable. But I'm going to go 4. I think this is a little bit better. I think it's better than Wonder Woman. I think it's better than Superman Doomsday. I think it's not quite as good as Batman Gotham Knight, because I gave that like 5 stars.
Yeah, it's great.
And New Frontier's pretty dope too. But I thought this was a great Green Lantern solo film. Better than this is the best Green Lantern movie we've ever had.
That's saying a lot.
Seriously is.
It's true.
So that's what I think. So 3, 3, 4 for an average of 3.27794358009.
I don't do math.
We don't do math so well here at PCP, but we do movies. So talk about this movie with us in the comments down below. What do you think about Green Lantern First Flight? How do you rate it? What do you dig? Thank you so much for checking out the video. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. This is
Jelani Bullard.
This is We Are the Pop Culture Philosophers. Join us at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, and a whole lot more. And be sure to join us right here on this YouTube channel next Monday for the next Movie Monday. We'll be talking about Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. And we're very hyped to talk about that movie. So join us next week. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. And you dig? What the fuck is going on with my shirt? All right, here we go.
Don't worry, everyone's going to be too busy staring at my jacked pecs to even notice you.
So brick.
You're right. You're right. Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. It's Monday. That means it's time for a Movie Monday, and today we're going to be
Is that That's a made-up word. All words are made up.